partnerships are the lifeblood of real estate. Like I've been doing real estate for over 20 years, and the things that I've done and the things that I've accomplished, I couldn't have done it without partnerships and without partners. I'm actually my brother, who is my other partner. He actually believed in me.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Pros podcast. I'm Cody Crabb with Investor Fuel, and today we've got Ricky McKenzie, managing partner at McKenzie Brothers Realty. He's focused on commercial real estate across multiple markets with multiple buildings in over $10 million in commercial assets. So today we're going to dive into how he's building across these markets, what he's seeing right now in the commercial world, and the role that partnerships play in getting deals done. Because as he put it, you don't scale in this business by yourself. So Ricky, thanks so much for joining me today. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Cody. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Well, just to kind of start us off, you said that hook that caught me in the beginning. You said people think they can do this alone, but partnerships are everything. Tell me why you said that.
Well, because number one, it's true, right? It's the
Yeah.
truth. I mean, if you fix your car, there's multiple parts in that car engine to keep that car running, in that car, period. If you have a flat tire, that car not moving. If the engine is bad, that car not moving. If you have an alternator that's bad, that car's not moving. It's a lot of things that keep that car on the road and moving. And partnerships are the lifeblood of real estate. Like I've been doing real estate for over 20 years, and the things that I've done and the things that I've accomplished, I couldn't have done it without partnerships and without partners. I'm actually my brother, who is my other partner. He actually believed in me. So the first time I did my first commercial deal, I went to him, and he believed in me, and he gave me an opportunity, and that's why I'm here today. But scaling is based on partnerships, right? Your property manager is a partner, your bank is a partner, your tenant that you have, they're partners. Your maintenance person, they're partners. People
Yeah.
watch these videos, and they say, "Oh, I made $20 million in my first deal." That's a lot. That's- a lot of it is not true. They're just trying to sell courses. Like, you got the partner.
Well, and even if they did, there's a lot of context around those things. Like their daddy got them, you know what I mean? Like they had some privileges that they're not talking about. Like it's very rare that someone actually just swoops out of nowhere and does this all by themselves. But we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit.
No, but it's true though. That's true.
Let's back up a little bit. Let's rewind a little bit. Tell me about your history. How did you get started? You said your brother believed in you early on with your first deal. How did you get into that in the first place, and what led up to that moment?
Yeah. So I'm originally from Springfield, Massachusetts. That's where I'm from. I was actually born in Cleveland, but I'm from Springfield, Massachusetts. And my dad, he passed away many years ago, but my dad always had residential properties. He never got into commercial, but he had, 2 family, 3 family properties. And I moved to Georgia back in 2001, right after 9/11. And When I moved down here, I was just trying to find myself. I just
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
graduated from college. I got my bachelor's degree, and I was just really just trying to find myself. You know what I mean? So I used to watch. I'm pretty sure you did too. Everybody used to watch the late night Carlton Sheet shows, right? Where, where he said how you can make this amount of money doing real estate and that amount of money doing real estate. And back in those days, I just read a lot of books, and I just networked, and I met this
Uh
one
huh.
guy, Jim Rosenberger, Home Buyers of Atlanta, and I worked with him. And then he was a wholesaler. I kind of seen the money that he made, and then I kind of just grew it from there. But I've been in Georgia for 25 years, so real estate has been something that I've been doing for like maybe over 20 years.
So, at what point did you get into the commercial side? Well, I'd love to hear about kind of was the first deal that you did commercial, or did you slowly kind of pivot into that after a while?
You know what? Great question. I'm gonna tell you how I got into commercial, and how I got into commercial was not by choice. It was a matter of survival. Um, Georgia, if you
Well,
don't,
the time frames got me thinking because I'm thinking you're talking about like 2004 or so, and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
there's a something's coming. Yeah.
yeah. Well, you know what? It was like right before COVID, man. So Atlanta, I'm in the Atlanta, Georgia market. In Atlanta, when I first moved to Atlanta, you could buy a house for $10,000, 15,000, 20,000. Usually, get houses for like
Wow.
cheap. And then, I'm an investor, right? I'm an investor full time. I don't have this is my only income. And I just seen houses go from 10,000 to 200,000 and up. 10, 50, 100, 200, and these houses were like in like crazy areas. They were like in such bad areas. Like if I had a flat tire, I wouldn't even stop in the area, right? I'll keep going until I found a tire shop where I got to like a lit place. So it's like, how are these houses going for $200,000? That's just crazy. So I just made up my mind that, you know what, I'm not about to spend or buy a $200,000 house in this crackhead neighborhood, this drug infested area, for this amount of money. And I didn't want to get a job, so I kind of I said, you know what? I think I'm going to get into commercial real estate. But it wasn't like I wanted to get into commercial real estate. It was like either I get a job or I pivot my investing. So I pivoted my investing from residential to commercial. And the funny thing is, a lot of people don't even know this is that people think that commercial is so hard, but a lot of times you're paying the same amount of money for a commercial building that you're paying for a house. You're paying the
Hmm.
same amount of money. It's the same amount of money. It's the same amount of money. People don't know that because they always think about house, 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 house. But it's the same amount of money. So I got into commercial just kind of like I was like kind of like forced into it. It was like either that or get a job or buy these houses for $200,000. And I didn't think that was worth it. These houses were like in really, really bad neighborhoods, bad areas. And I just didn't want to spend that kind of money on buying a house in those areas. So I kind of pivoted to commercial real estate from there. It was a process though, right? It was a process, but
Yeah.
then I went to there.
Well, I think it's as investors, like the investors are the people that listen to this show. And so
Yeah.
I think everybody can kind of relate to you either have to like just be okay with the situation you have, like maybe go get a W-2 job doing something, or you kind of pivot so that you can actually maintain the life that you want. That makes a lot of sense. A lot of people kind of struggle with that decision. So it sounded like you made the decision and you just kind of went forward with it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think when people don't realize too is I think that my philosophy is you're gonna work for yourself or work for someone, right? So either you're gonna build your own dream or build someone else's. And me in my life, I've only had a handful of jobs. I was always like an entrepreneur or trying to be an entrepreneur. And it would just have to kill me to like wake up at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock to be somewhere at 9 o'clock.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Stuck in traffic. Like I'm a dreamer. And for me to have to get up every day at a certain time to go punch a clock and for someone else to tell me what to do, it would just kill me. It would just
Yeah,
kill
I
me.
think a lot of people can relate to that. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, so do you remember your first commercial deal? Like, do you remember how you came upon it and kind of how it went?
I do, and I still have it actually. I still good question. Thank you for asking. I still have it. It's a small property. I started off small. It's probably 1,500 square feet. It's near my house. It's a small little retail property. It's on Love Street in Austell, downtown Austell. And what happened is that I was driving, right, driving for dollars, what we real estate people call it. I was driving around, and I always tell people, if you want to do real estate and be good at it, you should get lost, right? Because a lot of times I find properties by actually getting lost in places that I've never been. I'm like, oh, look at that. So I saw it and I called the agent on it, and they wanted I think they wanted like 120. I got them down to like 80,000. And then I asked them, well, could they like hold back a summer second? And I ended up buying it for like no money down. I think I understood it like,
Wow.
yeah, I bought it. I bought it creatively, the way I kind of structured the deal. And that's the thing about commercial. You can structure better than you can structure in a residential. But it's funny because I still have that property. I have it for 6 years now. I still have it, and it's funny because I want to tell you a quick story about that property. Those time we getting kind of personal here, Cody. Getting kind of personal. I was going through something with my son's mother, and I was paying child support, and that one property helped me pay my child support every month. I would get that money and I would get it and pay her, get it and pay her, get it and pay her. That's the power of real estate, especially commercial real estate. So yeah, that property in retrospect kind of saved me, because then after that, COVID happened and
Yeah.
things shut down and money was really, really
Yeah.
tight. But with commercial property, right? People got to realize too, it's somebody's business, right? So sometimes they will pay their rent before they even pay the mortgage of their house because that's their business, that's their baby, right? So it's not like
Yeah.
sometimes people walk away from their house and move with a relative, but when they have their business, they're fighting for that business every day, and they're going to
Yeah.
pay their rent not before they pay their mortgage.
So, okay, what are some of the challenges in commercial that you typically don't see uh, with other situations? Like, I guess what I'm saying is like, you mentioned a bunch of the pros, right? You said
Mhm.
it's easier to structure your money and that stuff, but there's probably also some cons as well. What are the cons to getting into commercial?
Cody, you be asking great questions, brother. You be asking great
Thank you.
questions. I love it. I love it. Well, I think so commercial can be cash heavy, right? That's one of the
Mm,
main things. It could be really cash heavy. So, say you buying a building for $1 million or 800,000, the bank a lot of times when they see you put down 30%. So you got to find $300,000. Another thing I think is a problem, been a problem for me and my partner and my partners. Sometimes people see that you have a commercial building, they just assume that you have money, right? Because it's commercial, right? It's commercial, so you must have it. So something that would probably cost $500, which is the same problem sometimes from commercial to residential. $500 at a residential house, they'll tell you, oh, it's 5,000 just because it's a
mm,
commercial building, they just assume, right? It's kind of like if you walk into a store and you have a pair of Nikes on, or you have a pair of Louis Vuitton shoes on, because they don't know how you got it, right? They don't know how you paid for it, but they just assume, hey, Cody got money because he has Louis Vuitton shoes. So that's the kind of problem that I have. Sometimes I have in commercials that sometimes when you have maintenance requests or maintenance people, they overcharge you because it's commercial. But the thing about commercial, I would say it can be cash heavy. So you have to know how to structure a property So sometimes you may like with me, I may go after a property.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
When the seller is a little more motivated, that way I can structure it in a way where I don't have to bring so much capital to close it. So with commercial, like anything else, it has its challenges, and some of the challenges I see is maintenance, right? Because somebody may tell you like, hey, this is maybe a little bit more because the place is bigger. Like I have a 80,000 square foot building. I had to get a sprinkler system in it. We paid over $200,000 for the sprinkler system. Yeah, our property in Macon, which is my biggest project, but it's worth $6 million, right? And it's 83,000 square feet. It was an old AT&T building, and we converted it into a self storage. We spent over $2 million in the renovation, so it can be cash heavy, right? But even though it's cash heavy, it's also worth a lot more, right? So
Yeah,
you,
sure.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So the it evens out. But yeah, I would say that I would say it could be it can be real cash heavy, like something like a little small thing. They'll be like, oh, it's $5,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah. Yeah.
residential, you can get done for like 500, or you can get done for less. And with residential, you don't have to watch it as much. I think with commercial buildings, you have to watch them a little bit more
Mm.
because it's such a large asset. With anything that's a little bit larger is going to take a little bit more eyes, a little bit more attention than something that's smaller. If that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. Um, all right. So we mentioned partnerships to
Mhm,
start off, and you
mhm.
said that was one of your philosophies is like that is like my thing. I believe in partnerships. I think they're the lifeblood of this industry. I'd be curious to know, have you ever had a partnership go wrong?
Of course, of course,
Sure. So,
of
I mean,
course.
you made quite an expression
Yeah.
there. So, I mean, feel free to not tell everything about it
No,
if you don't want to.
I
But
know
I'd love to
exactly.
hear a story about like how do you know who to partner with, and what are some red flags with a partner?
Cody, gr- great questions, man. Everybody should be watching
Thank you
these
very much.
podcasts. So I will say this. I will say two things, and I was just saying this today earlier. I was saying this earlier to my partner. You never know someone until money's involved.
Yeah, it's
That
true.
that that could be
It's
your
true.
wife, that could be your kid, that could be your mother, that could be your father. You never know anyone until money's involved. When someone's money involved, then you see who they really are and they show themselves. So, yeah, I've had bad partnerships. I mean, I've had. I mean, there's, you know, I, I would say this: most of my partnerships that have went bad or went wrong has been with contractors, right?
Hmm.
Thank God, knock on wood, I haven't had, knock on wood, I don't really have bad business partnerships per se. Like when we went to the property, into the building, and somebody put up some capital, we bought the property. Thank God, I haven't really had that. But a lot of partnerships that I've had that went sour or went left has been with contractors. I,
Hmm.
I, I I say this all the time, and I wholeheartedly believe this. Contractors, attorneys, and mechanics are the three biggest thieves, right? And a lot of times, if you don't know what you're looking at, or even if you do know what you're looking at, right? They may say, Cody, in order to do this, it's going to be $5,000, or they may drag your project on. They may, because they may jump from your project to onto another. So man, I got some stories, but mostly my stories have been my partnership with contractors. I thank God
Hmm.
I really haven't had no bad partnerships, knock on wood, with per se people I purchased commercial properties with. But a lot of my things that went wrong, my bad experiences have been with contractors, right? Because again, contractors are not regulated, mechanics are not regulated, attorneys are not regulated. They're not regulated, right? So they can overcharge you, overprice. They don't. A lot of
Mm,
times they're not honest, right? We're in. I've and another thing too. A lot of my bad contracts, my bad experiences have come with residential property. Whereas with
mm,
commercial, you can tell somebody, okay, um, let me get back to you. I give you something that happened to me. It's not a big deal, but this guy, he came out and he been like asking me for work. Ricky, let me give me some work. Da da da. He's this HVAC guy, right? So he gets there. He gets to my place. I'm having some problems. My HVAC is not blowing cold air. Tenants are complaining. He gets over there. So number one, he charges me a $250 trip fee, which he didn't tell me anything about until he got there, right? So
all right.
that right there was a red flag. $250 just to give me a diagnostic. Come on, bro. So then he does this big old estimate, and he's like, "Whoo, oh man, whoo." I'm like, "Come on, man." He puts on the act. So then he says it's gonna be $1,500 to repair everything, but you already gave me 250, so you just owe me 1,250, and I take $100 off, so just give me 1,150, right? I said, "All right, bro." But before that, let me just get a second opinion. All right, man, go ahead, do what you gotta do. But I'm telling you, I got the best price in town. No one's gonna beat my price. I'm telling you, I got the best price in town. And if I don't do it now, I might come back. I might go up. I'm telling you, I might that $100 I might knock off. I may tap back on because now I gotta schedule you my time and you ain't scheduled me. And now you know what I mean. And I was gonna do it now, I'll do it today, but now you want me to leave and get the second opinion. Cool, I don't have a problem with that. But I'm telling you, my price might go up.
And you're like, yeah, 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 yeah. Second opinion, second opinion.
Yeah, Cody, Cody, I got a second opinion, right? This other guy came like the next day. The guy was there for like an hour, right? The guy didn't charge me to come out there, by the way. And then he came in the office. He was telling me like he like looking at his phone. He was like, I so know what I could charge. I mean, let me see. All right, man, the best I can do is 450.
It's not even close.
450. I was like,
Yeah.
and then when he said 450, I was like, 450? That's the best you could do? He was like, yeah, but it's like it's 450. Then I asked somebody, I said, well, don't the thermometer still got to be replaced? But the guy told me got to be replaced. No, it's not wrong. That thermometer is new. I said, well, don't this do that? No, and that's fine. HVAC, that's fine. And this dude told me 1,500, and I got somebody do it for like 450. I think he charged me like 350. So I ended up buying like the part of it, whatever. So contractors, man, you got to be careful of contractors.
Well, so that obviously makes me want to ask then. So, I mean, I would assume that because you're wary about working with people like that,
Mhm.
have you found like some really good relationship contractors that you trust, and how kind of what are those like?
Yeah, yeah. So man, I have. Thank God, I have, and I think that. So here's my thing, right? With contractors, I found a couple that I deal with now, two or three that I keep in rotation. But let me tell you this: even though I found them and they're good as well, it that old saying, you can't keep a dog full, right? You can't keep a dog full. You can't keep an animal full, right? Because
Yeah,
if you're always keeping an animal full, they're not gonna want to go out there and work or hunt and so forth. So I think with the contract that I have now, thank God, they're a lot better than what I've done with. But I don't give one particular contractor all my work. I probably
yeah,
should, but I just don't because I wanna keep them like trying to earn my business all the time. And sometimes
sure.
if you keep giving them one person all your business all the time, they end up kind of like not appreciating you as much. I mean, real estate is really, psychological too at many things. You know what I mean? It's you gotta
Yeah,
have
yeah, I know what
a
you mean.
vision and it's psychological. You know what I mean? Dealing with contracting, dealing with buyers and sellers, psychological thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you've given us a lot of really awesome info today. I'd be curious. So, like I said, our audience is made up of real estate investors. A lot of times, kind of maybe on the earlier side of investing. Not always, but sometimes. What would you say? What would you say to someone who wants to get into commercial? They're kind of looking at it and they think, I think that's a better fit for me. What would you say to them? Uh, to someone that's kind of looking to pivot?
Great question, Cody. And you know what? I'm gonna tell them, and it kind of comes against probably from my experiences, right, and from um been doing this a long time. Is don't learn too much. I know it's kind of like an
Hmm.
oxymoron, but I'm telling you, I've seen it happen, even with me. The more research you do, the less you do. I don't know why it's like that, but I've seen people go to seminar after seminars after class after classes, read books after books, and they never do it because they got too much information, right? If you're getting married and you talk to 100 people, you're not gonna want to get married after talking to 100 people because 50 people are gonna tell you don't do it. 50 people gonna tell you do it, and you may get more people do it, but here's what's gonna happen. So to me, I would say with anything in life, just do it, right? Just do it. Because you're gonna make
Yeah.
mistakes. There's no ways around it. And I don't care how many books you read, I don't care how many podcasts you watch, I don't care how many classes you go to. There's nothing that beats just doing it. And don't be afraid to make a mistake, right? Because you never really lose, you
Yeah.
learn. You don't lose, you learn. But the main thing is don't get too much information. I seen people just get way too much information, right? And it after getting that information, they just don't do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like going to your doctor, right?
They call it analysis paralysis.
Analysis paralysis. Yeah. Like, I mean, but don't you see it though, right?
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know?
Well, and it's like you mentioned the marriage thing. Like, if you think too hard about any, like if you try to come up with reasons not to marry somebody, for example,
Mhm,
you're gonna find them. You're gonna find them. And so I think you're right. Like find an amount of risk that you're comfortable taking,
mhm,
and just learn enough to know what you're getting yourself into somewhat, and then find somebody that you can ask questions to that knows what they're talking about. Like you said, do a partnership,
mhm.
whether it's financial or you just kind of have someone to ask questions to, and then just go for it. I mean, what's the worst case scenario? You're gonna be more broke. That's how I see it. Like we can't be broke twice.
Yeah.
So
You know, I wanna I
yeah,
wanna tell you something kind of personal. My dad passed away 19 years ago, and he had prostate cancer, and he talked to like different doctors, got different opinions, and at the end of it, he didn't want to do the surgery. And when he passed away, he said, "You know what, Ricky? I should have just did the surgery. That would have been the best thing for me." And I'm giving that
yeah.
analogy is that he asked too many people instead of just doing the surgery. just do
Using
it.
his gut.
Like
Yeah,
like like like
yeah,
like like, you know, like, whatever, like, what's the worst that could happen, right? Worst that
yeah.
could
And
happen is
especially in
that
that situation. Yeah,
worst that situation, like, worst that could happen because you may pass away anyway with what you did, so you might as well go with the opinion that you
yeah.
think is best, which is the surgery, and keep it moving. But a lot of times, we just get too much information. I'm guilty of it as well. Like, I'm guilty of it as well, of trying to learn too much, and then you end up not doing anything. The person who makes it, the person who fails faster, quicker, gets up and do it again. Faster, quicker, get up and do it again. Faster,
I
quicker,
love
get up and do it
I
again.
love the idea that you try to rack up failures to instead of taking all that time learning something, and just go mess up a bunch of stuff, and you'll learn a lot faster.
But it's the truth
That's a
though,
good way to
right?
look at it.
And you
Yeah,
think about
it's
it,
true.
you go cautiously and like my first property was 1,500. My next property was 12,000 square feet. And Cody, I never owned an office building before. Like, I never owned a commercial building in my life. My friends thought I was crazy. They're like, "Oh my God, this ain't gonna work. You're bugging. Why are you doing this?" I'm like, "Fuck it." Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
went from
I know
I
what
went
you
from
mean.
1,500 to 12,000, nothing in between. And then after that was 40 or 20,000, and then 20,000 to 80,000. It was like, but it's the same process though. It's the same. It's like just do it. Do it. Don't
Right. Yeah.
don't need to know everything.
We work with unideal situations all the time in our personal lives, like in our families, in our like whatever office space you're working in, you know what I mean? Like we make the best of it, we just figure it out, but why not do it in a way that can make you a lot of money? So that's a great way to look
Yeah,
at it.
absolutely.
Um so tell me about you. You've mentioned a masterclass. Tell me about this masterclass that you're setting up.
I'm excited about it, man. I'm excited about it. So let me just back up and say this. I'm a part of Georgia RIA. Georgia RIA is Georgia Real Estate Investment Association. I've been a part of them for like maybe like 20 years. At one point they were like they still are. They're the largest real estate organization in Georgia. And every last Wednesday of the month, I do Southside meetup, right? A Southside meetup group.
Mm.
And we have different investors that come. We have different speakers. It's really good. I've been doing it for like 3 years now. And I've raised capital in that room. And I've met so many speakers. Every February we do a meet the mayor, where we have different
Oh,
mayors.
wow.
Yeah, different mayors. Like this couple months ago, we did Meet the Mayor. We had the mayor of South Florida there, the mayor of Lithonia, the mayor of Warner Robins, and the mayor of Riverdale. So every
Mm.
year in February, we do like to meet the mayor. And this month, we actually have three lieutenant governors candidates. I'm sorry, candidates are running for lieutenant governor, and two candidates are running for governor of Georgia. That's going to be there. So
Wow.
yeah, so it's a really good thing, man. And again, like I've told you, I've met partners there. I raised money in that room. I raised capital. I've done deals in that room, and I've always wanted to do a 3-day workshop. And for me, it's that workshop that was a masterclass is more so about yes, learning. If you're a seasoned investor or you're a first time investor or if you're an intermediary investor, but it's also about networking because that is the main thing. I mean, I don't listen, you can come in, you can learn how to build a house there. You can learn the closing process, the permitting process, the foreclosure process. These are we're gonna have over 10 sessions, ADU, additional dwelling unit. We got somebody talking about all kind of things, credit, and somebody talking about credit. We have a lot of different things, and we're gonna have a keynote speaker, but the main thing is coming to network,
Mm.
meeting your next partner in that role. Yes,
Yeah, like you
learning.
said,
Mhm.
partnerships are where it's at,
Partnership.
and I've definitely seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, partnerships is where it's at. Yeah, partnerships for
S-
sure.
So what can someone kind of hope to walk away with after this master class? Just to kind of give you an idea of like who should be kind of looking at going to this.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think um the first time investor for sure, right? Because you don't pull the
Mm.
trigger. But I also think the seasoned investor as well. Because you may be doing commercial and not residential, or doing residential or not doing commercial and land. I have a friend who's going to be teaching buying land. And he's killing it. He buys land unseen. He buys it unseen, does his due diligence, then he sells it. And he sells it for like good return, 20, 30, 40, 50,000, and he never sees it. He does everything virtually. So yeah,
Wow.
so I think it's a good thing if you want to learn about different things from
Yeah, new
land
ideas and stuff.
selling from there. So it's gonna be really good. And I want to say this too. I got to keep saying this. Yes, we're teaching, right? So one thing you could learn there to make you a whole lot of money, but your partner that you'll meet there can make you millions. Like I met a guy at one of my other meetups, or my meet that I went to, and me and him bought this building that I have now. It's 20,000 square feet. Well, it's two buildings at 40,000 square feet. We sold one of them, but I met him there, partner. Because you can
Mm.
learn, right?
Yeah, see?
Cody, you can learn,
Yeah.
right? But what difference do it make to learn if you're gonna go in there by yourself, or you'll try to do it by yourself, and then you're not gonna meet the right partner that can help you to bring that together.
Yeah, totally. And I've been to not that specific event, but I've been to events like that, and I will tell you, like you think I'm going to go for the classes and the information, but that's not what you end up going for. Like you said, it's the networking and all the people you meet and stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah,
for
highly
sure.
recommend you check that out. And you said you had and so you mentioned you'd be willing to give us some tickets to give away. Is that right?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's $500 per person. It's $500 per person to go to the master class. It's really it's worth it. So I want to give you $1,000 worth of tickets. So I want to give you two tickets. And you can give them away as you see fit. Maybe give one to one of your callers or one of your listening people who are watching. So however you want to do it. But yeah, they're two tickets and they have a value of $1,000. Yeah.
Wow.
And I would
Okay.
love to give them to you. And thank you for having me. And I love that.
Of course. Well, yeah. So if you're local, go ahead and send an email to Cody@investorfuel.com. I will personally keep an eye out for those. Use the subject line tickets, and I'll pick one at random once this goes live. So,
Oh.
Ricky,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us today. This has been, I think, really helpful for people that kind of maybe have thought about commercial or wanted to kind of pivot, but haven't really thought exactly what they do yet. So thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you for having me. And if people want to know more about the masterclass, they can go to learnrealestatefast.com. It's called learnrealestatefast.com. And we have all the information on the site. You can also, my number is there, or you can message us, message me. And yeah, we'll love to see you. And Cody, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Cool. Yeah. Well, thank you again. I think this is a great thing for our listeners. Listeners, if you got something out of today, and I know you did, go ahead and like, subscribe, leave a comment, do all the things, and make sure you follow the podcast so you can get more awesome conversations with people like Ricky. Ricky, can't thank you enough. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time.
No, thank you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.